Elson Floyd introduces Bill Moos as WSU AD in 2010. Once beloved Bill Moos is a guy Cougar fans love to dump on, but 14 months removed from his shocking midnight move to Nebraska, a couple of perspective-setting facts become crystal clear. First, he didn't bail on WSU so much as concede. He and the new boss were like oil and water. Moos grew up in Edwall rooting for the Cougs, played for the Cougs, got his start in athletic administration with the Cougs, and came out of retirement to rescue the Cougs. He loves WSU. Sadly, he let his animus for Kirk Schultz get in the way of good judgment. Going to Nebraska wasn't a bad move, given that he and Schultz didn't much get along, but he did it in the middle of the football season and in unprofessional fashion, letting his boss and everyone else in Cougar Nation learn about it via Twitter. By opting to give the symbolic middle finger to Schultz, he undid a lifetime of work and dealt a devastating blow to his Crimson legacy. Second, this memorable season in which the Cougs are one Alamo Bowl win away from a record 11th victory, and their 37th win the last 4 years, is a direct result of Moos and the vision for Cougar football he shared with the late Elson Floyd. Certain fans and pundits have made much of the deficit spending in WSU athletics and tossed many brickbats at Moos in the process. But the simple fact is this: without the massive investment in state-of-the-art facilities and nutrition, and without the financial and facilities commitment to Mike Leach and his staff, the Cougars would not have been in the New Year's Six discussion this year. Gardner Minshew would not have been a Heisman contender. Game day wouldn't have come to Pullman. As CFC has stated before, the spending of recent years was needed to make up for the previous 2 decades of neglect, as testament to how far behind the Power 5 curve Washington State lagged. Consider these sobering nuggets. When Paul Wolf tried to hire assistant coaches from Mountain West schools, they turned him down because they would have taken salary cuts to come to WSU. When Matt Hayes of Bleacher Report wrote last week about WSU's ascension, he marveled that Leach accepted the job without visiting campus and proceeded to walk into what Hayes dubbed, by far, the worst setup among Power 5 schools. WSU was so bush league that position meeting rooms had to be shared with the psychology department. There would be professors waiting outside the classroom door with their students, staring at their watches, wondering why the football team was still in the room. Dave Emmerich, Leach's chief of staff, recalled to Hayes. Anything you wrote on that Goodreads board was wiped off the moment you left. Hayes asked the great question in his story: why would anyone, namely Leach, coach here? The answer: because Moos promised the Pirate he would do for WSU what he had done at Oregon. Cougar fans are abuzz right now as the faithful descend on San Antonio's River Walk. And those not going to the game are basking in the glow and mustache mania from afar. Some are still smarting from the New Year's Six snub, and even that is something to cheer about, because the conversation has WSU and New Year's Six in the same sentence. Related, WSU players talk about taking aim at historic 11th win. The Cougars have dominated Oregon and Stanford over the last 4 years, 7-1. They have more Pac-12 wins in that span than USC or UCLA. Think about that for a minute. Take your mind back to 2008 or 09 and consider where WSU is today. Moos is gone and much vilified. That vilification, though, should be reserved solely for the way he left, because he accomplished much while leading WSU athletics. Given Moos' shortcomings in major gift fundraising, I don't agree with Leach, who said a year ago that Moos is the best AD, active, retired or dead, he's ever met. But I do know this: WSU football wouldn't be where it is today without Moos or the man who shared his vision, Elson Floyd. So I have a proposal for a collective New Year's resolution by Cougar Nation: give Bill Moos the immense credit he deserves for orchestrating WSU's ascension and stop blasting him for making the financial investment required to get here.